It is day 4 of these little Advent reflections. Again, I'm using this reading plan on YouVersion Bible app, the Bible Project Advent Readings. Hebrews 10:23 is like the focus verse today, and it's the verse. I've already heard it a couple of times during some Advent, the first Sunday of Advent, some sermons and things like that. But Hebrews 10:23 says, "Let us hold unswervingly to the faith that we profess." The last part, "He who promised is faithful." That's the NIV translation. The Message paraphrase on that is good. In fact, I'll read. Sometimes the Message doesn't give you verse by verse kind of demarcations, but like this says, it's verses 22 to 25. So let's do it. Full of belief, confident that we're presentable inside and out. Let's keep a firm grip on the promises that keep us going. Let's keep a firm grip on the promises that keep us going. That's the same part as let us hold unswervingly to the hope that we profess. And then the Message finishes the verse, "He always keeps his word. He is faithful and he will do it." Several scriptures on that idea of like God's faithfulness. God is faithful, he will do it. I think there's another verse in Thessalonians. There's Philippians 1:6. That he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion. He is faithful and he will do it. So God's faithfulness is, I don't know if you feel this way. Sometimes you can feel that God is distant, God is far away, God is maybe not paying attention to you personally when we go through things, when we go through trials, and it just seems like God is far away. But, the older I get, the more I'm able to look back and reflect on God's faithfulness. Even the times I would say that maybe God, it's not that God was unfaithful, it's that God didn't show up in the way I expected or wanted. Sometimes we can interpret that as God not being faithful, but that's probably got a little bit more of our own sort of bias and issue, in the interpretation than is accurate. So anyway, as I reflect, on my life and live, you get the grace and the benefit of a new day, for several years. Not everyone gets that as many years as some of us do, but the benefits and blessing of aging and turning gray and bald is you have more life to look back on and reflect, more of God's faithfulness to think about. And so again, this whole idea of hope that we're focusing on this first week especially is built and baked into the character of God, trusting God's faithfulness. There was another verse in Isaiah 42, when you pass through waters, when you go through deep waters, you pass through the river, even when you pass through the flame, the fire will not set you ablaze, for I am with you. So this passage where God is reminding Israel that I'm with you, that I care about you, and it's a verse that we I think we can rightly apply that to our lives as well, that God is faithful, God cares about our lives and what's going on, and that God is with us. Wow, that sounds Christmassy and Adventy. God is with us, Emmanuel. So again, I pray that your day, in this day, you're reminded of the hope, you're reminded of God's faithfulness, and sometimes even God's faithfulness to others. As others tell the story of God's faithfulness, that encourages me, even though it wasn't my own experience. It's someone else's experience of the God, who I worship, who I pray to, who I follow, who I, am committed to. So maybe that helps you too. Have a great day. And I pray that your day is filled with hope and with the sense of God's presence and care in your life. And we'll see you next time.